Thanks for listening to our lessons from our daily Bible reading. The lesson today is if nobody's asking, maybe nothing's showing. If nobody's asking, maybe nothing's showing. You know, it's not uncommon for things that are seen to provoke some kind of action on the part of others, somebody to ask about it. In our reading last Friday, you find in Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter, it says, "Now, when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, What mean the testimonies, the statutes, the judgments, which our Lord God hath commanded you? Then thou shalt say unto thy son, We were Pharaoh's bondsmen in Egypt. The Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. The Lord showed mighty signs and wonders, great and sore upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, upon his household before our eyes. He brought us out from thence that he might bring us in, give us a land which they sware unto our fathers." In other words, their sons, their children, would see their life of following God and ask, what's this all about? Sometimes, maybe if we're not ever asked about our religion, maybe it's not showing. And that's far from what God desires. In the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter, in verse 16, we find that we are to let our light so shine before men that they might see your good works. In other words, Christianity is something, following God is something that's demonstrated in my life. In the book of 1 Peter, in the 3rd chapter, a woman who is married to an unbeliever, her lifestyle is such that it can affect and hopefully work to convert her unbelieving spouse. In the book of Acts, the 17th chapter, in verse 6, Jason and other disciples, they were looked at and cried out against as those who turn the world upside down. In other words, their actions were manifest. You look and we're to make a difference in life. Sometimes we think that religion is better felt than told, as some people say, and that's one of the most foolish statements you ever heard. But sometimes we take it a step further. It's better felt than even shown. You see, our life is an ensign flying for God. We are to make manifest, to make known the life that we live is because 1 Corinthians 10:31, whether we eat, drink, whatever we do all to the glory of God. So we ought to be ready to mention God, but our lives ought to show forth who we follow. We, if we're members of the Lord's church, having been added to that based upon gladly receiving the word, being baptized, and thus God adds us to the church, Acts the 2nd chapter, our lives ought to manifest what we're doing. We show who we follow. If nobody's ever asking about my life or your life, what does this mean? Why are you doing this? Then perhaps we haven't, as the writer said in 1 Peter 3 and verse 15, truly sanctified Christ in our heart. Whenever we do that, our life will show it. And we better be ready to give an answer unto any man who asks a reason of the hope that's in us. I hope it begins in our home, but I hope it gets to every area of life. Thanks for listening. You have a great day. Shine for God. It'll make a difference in your life and in the lives of those that see you. Thank you again for joining us in this Bible study. We remind you, if you'd like to follow along in our daily Bible reading, the link below in the description of this video will give you the PDF so you can read right along with us. If you have any other questions or if you'd like information on a Bible study, contact us with the information provided on the screen before you.